Futurama originally began airing back in 1999, and in the time since has been cancelled and revived twice, and has amassed 144 episodes. Well, actually most likely more, probably, when this comes out, or 160 or 170. It depends how it's counted, and the amount of seasons and episodes this show has is actually really complicated, and something we'll get into. Over the now 26 years the series has existed, it's had many releases on various home media formats like DVD, Blu Ray, VHS and more. But before we get into the releases themselves, there's something important we have to discuss, and that is the fact that Futurama's broadcast seasons are not the same as their production seasons. The production seasons are the way the show was made and intended to be seen, whereas the broadcast seasons are the way the show was aired. So what's the difference? Well, the broadcast seasons are out of order, and the length of broadcast seasons is different to the length of production seasons. Starting with the original run of the show, which was from 1999 to 2003, there were 4 production seasons, but when these were aired, it was split into 5 broadcast seasons. Originally, production season 1 had 13 episodes, being Space Pilot 3000 to Fry and the Slurm Factory. However, when it was aired, it was cut down to only the first 9 episodes, which were aired from March 28, 1999 to May 18, 1999, and the remaining 4 became a part of broadcast season 2, which started airing on September 26, 1999. Broadcast season 2 therefore starts with the last 4 episodes of production season 1, before continuing with production season 2, making production season 2 episode 1 broadcast season 2 episode 5. Up until this point, the episodes were at least being aired in order. However, for some reason, partway through broadcast season 2, some episodes were swapped round. Production season 2 episodes 6 and 7 have been swapped round, and so have episodes 10 and 11 and 14 and 15. Broadcast season 2 then ends with production season 2 episode 16, cutting off the last 3 episodes of the season, which were then moved to broadcast season 3. So, broadcast season 3 starts with the last 3 episodes of production season 2, with episodes 18 and 17 being swapped round for some reason, and then it goes on to have 12 episodes from production season 3, which are just entirely out of order. Production season 3 had 22 episodes, meaning 10 episodes weren't included in the broadcast season, and therefore moved to broadcast seasons 4 and even 5. Broadcast season 4 is a mix of production seasons 3 and 4. It has 12 episodes, 3 from production season 4 and then 9 from production season 3. Also, it's out of order. And then finally, there's broadcast season 5, which is all the remaining unaired episodes, being 15 from production season 4 and then 1 from production season 3. Again, out of order. I don't know why they didn't just air the show normally. I feel like that would have been easier, but whatever. This then left the original run having 4 production seasons and 5 broadcast seasons. I bring this up because when the original run was released on home media, it was done in production order rather than broadcast order. The sets were labelled as volumes rather than seasons, but only in region 1. In region 2, they were released as seasons still, and each set contained 1 production season. So that was pretty confusing since the DVDs labelled seasons weren't actually the same as the seasons aired on TV, but don't worry, because it gets worse. Alright, so that was already pretty confusing. But do you know what else is confusing? Trying to stop your personal information being sold. Luckily, this video is sponsored by Aura. If you didn't know, there's these companies known as data brokers, and they make money by selling your important data to marketers, scammers, or stalkers, which is quite bad. And they do it without your consent and make billions from doing it. But luckily, they are legally required to remove your personal information if you request. However, they purposely make the process of doing that incredibly confusing and convoluted. Luckily, this is where Aura comes in, as they will take care of the hard part and automatically remove your information from these sites. And that's not all Aura does. Aura is all-in-one digital security. It will send you an alert if your personal information is found on the dark web. It's a VPN, an antivirus, a password manager, and so much more. And guess what? You can try Aura free for 14 days at aura.com/OscarBurn and see where your data is being exposed and sold. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code. Now back to the video. After the show was effectively cancelled back in 2003 from having no new season ordered, it became popular from DVD sales along with its syndication on Adult Swim. This then led Fox to ordering 4 straight-to-DVD feature-length films for the series, which were released from 2007 to 2009. Now, when these were aired on TV, TV, they weren't actually aired as films like you'd expect, but instead were split up into 22-minute parts, and aired as episodes. There were 4 films, each split up into 4 parts, creating 16 quote-unquote episodes, which was then labelled as Broadcast Season 6. Now, an important thing to also note is that the movie versions and broadcast versions are actually a little different, as some things had to be cut in order to fit the length of a regular episode. So, following these movies, the series itself was revived in 2010 for Comedy Central, and 2 new production seasons were created, being labelled as Production Seasons 6 and 7, skipping 5 because the movies were actually labelled as Production Season 5. These seasons had 26 episodes each, and when they were aired, they were actually split into 2 parts each, now making it 4 broadcast seasons, being Broadcast Seasons 7 to 10, and also the episodes are out of order again. Now, interestingly, unlike the Fox seasons, these new Comedy Central seasons were actually released the same way as the broadcast version on home media, rather than the production way like the prior releases, meaning volumes 5 to 8 were just broadcast seasons 7 to 10. Although notably here, the episodes are still in production order despite the seasons being split up into 2 parts like the broadcast version. So there were 8 volumes in total, labelled as seasons in Region 2, to add to the confusion. Also, obviously, Broadcast Season 6 never got a home media release because it was cut up versions of the already released movies. Also, it doesn't really matter to this video, but just in case you're curious, the new Hulu revival seasons are now 3 production seasons behind. So season 11 is production season 8 and 12 is 9. So basically, the home media releases are the best way to watch the series because it's entirely in production order. Even though the last 2 production seasons releases were split up, the episodes themselves are still in production order, and that's the order you were intended to watch it, and the version currently available on Disney Plus is in broadcast order for whatever reason. So if you want to watch it the intended way, you'd have to click through the episodes and keep track of the order, which is a nightmare, especially when, I mean, production season 3 was spread over 3 whole broadcast seasons. Anyway, now that's out of the way, onto the releases themselves. Also, by the way, I'm going to be referring to the episodes in production order. So starting off, volume/season 1 of the show was released onto DVD, VHS and VCD on January 28th, 2002 for Region 2, and much later in Region 1 on March 25th, 2003. It was the only time Futurama was released on VCD. Each version of the release contains 3 of the 4 it's on. The set itself has 3 full-size DVD boxes in a box with a slipcover, and what's cool about these is that the artwork on the slipcover has a see-through part that works with the artwork on the box. All these Fox seasons do. So here, the front of the slipcover features Fry and Bender piloting a ship on one side, and Leela presumably on the same ship on the other side, with the see-through part being a window that shows the box art of the city. Cool. As for the DVDs themselves, each one has 1 character on its cover and spine, so we've got Fry, Bender and Leela. And what's especially cool about these DVDs is that they all line up with each other, so if you lay them out like this, it's just one big piece of artwork. That's sick. I remember when I was like 9 and looking at these DVDs and being like, oh wait a minute, that looks like Fry's arm. And then I put the boxes next to each other and had my mind blown. It took me a year of owning these to figure that out, by the way. Anyway, the release also comes packed with special features included. You get an audio commentary for every episode, and deleted scenes from some episodes. On top of this, you also get the animatic for Space Pilot 3000, plus the script and storyboards featuring notes from David X. Cohen. Then there's also a gallery of various behind the scenes photos. Also look, Homer Simpson is in this one. This season also features a behind the scenes featurette, and is the only season to do so. Originally, every season would have its own featurette, but for whatever reason, season 1 was the only one to end up having one. And that's all the bonus content. Or is it? Similar to the Aqua Teen Hunger Force releases I previously covered, there are some hidden Easter eggs in these releases. Basically, you can select things on the menus you wouldn't expect to be able to select to access some secret pictures. For example, on disc 3, if you select the special features on any episode and hit right instead of down, this remote becomes highlighted. Pressing it takes you to a poster for Galaxy Wars. There are 8 different hidden images on this release, 7 movie posters and 1 this. Also, for the VHS version, the only special features included were the featurette and deleted scenes. Anyway, that concludes the Season 1 release, which interestingly was the only release during the time the show was actually still being made. Season 2 would follow, being released onto DVD and VHS on November 11th, 2002 for Region 2 and August 12th, 2003 for Region 1. Season 2 had 19 episodes, which is 6 more than Season 1's 13, and because of this, it meant the set now featured 4 DVD/VHSs, as opposed to 3, making the set thicker, at least for the DVD version. The VHS version actually appears to have had its box redesigned slightly, making the sets a similar size, as the box for season 1 had these thick sides which were removed for season 2. The design this time has the slipcover features Zoidberg, Bender, Professor Farnsworth and Hermes in front of a window, presumably on a ship, with the box art behind them. The box art is set in space and features various references to episodes from the season. As for the DVDs themselves, similar to season 1, each one's artwork predominantly features one character that can also be seen on the spine. So we've got Leela, Bender, Zoidberg and Fry. And once again, you can line these up for a really neat piece of artwork that also contains various things from the episodes in the season. As for the bonus features in this set, we once again have audio commentary for every episode, some animatics, some deleted scenes, and some storyboards. Also included is a gallery of concept art, sponsor clips, which are these clips.
Futurama is brought to you by Arachnospores, the fatal spore with a funny name.
That were inserted into certain episodes as a cold open prior to the intro for time reasons. International clips, which is a 40-second clip from the episode I Second That Emotion, available in French, Italian, Portuguese and Spanish. And finally, there's Alien Alphabet, which is a substitution cipher of the alien language seen in the show, which would allow you to translate it into English. How cool. And that was all of the special features. Or was no. Once again, there are hidden Easter eggs in this release, hidden in the same way as the previous release. This time, 7 hidden images, which are all yearbook photos of various people who worked on the show. Also, the VHS variant of this one just doesn't have any special features at all. Anyway, that was Season 2's release. Following this, Season 3 would be released onto DVD and VHS on June 2nd, 2003 for Region 2, and March 9th, 2004 for Region 1, having 4 DVD/VHSs once again. The artwork on this one's really cool, with the slipcover featuring Fry, Bender and Leela in spacesuits, the see-through part this time being the helmet, and their heads aren't actually part of the slipcover, and instead are on the box, with the slipcover and box art lining up perfectly. Once again, the artwork on both the slipcover and box feature various references to the episodes from the season. The spines of the DVDs this time feature Fry, Bender, Leela and Zoidberg, with the artwork seen when lining up the boxes this time focusing mostly on Bender, specifically from the episode Godfellas, as well as containing other things around from the season. Anyway, now on to the bonus features. This release contains a ton of bonus features, more than any prior release. There's commentaries again, with the episode Roswell That Ends Well actually featuring 2 commentary tracks, deleted scenes from certain episodes, and storyboards and animatics from some episodes. On top of this, there's also international clips once again, this time being a 1 minute 46 second clip from Amazon Women in the Mood, in English, French, Spanish and Italian. A showcase of various 3D models seen in the show, a guide on how to draw Fry and Leela, and a gallery of artwork of various characters. It also comes with a trailer for the Season 1 DVD, the Season 2 DVD, and the Futurama video game. On top of all this, Easter eggs make a return, this time being especially interesting. There's only 3, but they're not just pictures this time, so I'll go into detail on all of them. On disc 1, if you go to the menu for Amazon Women in the Mood and select to left, it'll highlight the picture. Selecting this then takes you to some unused title captions, which are the things shown at the start of the intro under the logo. Going to the menu for A Tale of Two Santas and going right this time highlights the picture. Selecting this one will play an hour 10-minute long table read for the episode. And finally, going back to the menu we were just on and going right then up reveals this Santa hat, which when pressed plays an Xmas message from David X. Cohen, which is an introduction to the episode. And that was all the Easter eggs. They were all on disc 1. Also, something else interesting that I'll mention is that at the start of the discs, there's always this warning which is like about copyright and stuff, and it's shown in many different languages, and here it's also shown in a fictional alien language, which, since we now have the translation, we can translate back to English. It's quite long so I won't read it, but I'll leave it on screen for you to read if you want. And this actually isn't the only alien message in the set, as before the episode Amazon Women in the Mood plays, another message is seen, which again I will leave on screen for you to read. Moving on now to the final Fox season release, Season 4. Season 4 released on DVD and VHS, November 24th, 2003 for Region 2 and August 24th, 2004 for Region 1. It was the final VHS release for the series. The design on this one's cool because the slipcover is transparent, except for Fry, Bender and Leela, and when you remove the slipcover, it reveals the X-rays of them. As for the boxes themselves, once again there's 4, with the spines featuring artwork based off the episode Teenage Mutant Leela Turtles. Once again, lining them up reveals a larger piece of artwork featuring various things from throughout the season. season. Onto the bonus features now, and this set also contains a lot. Once again, we have commentaries, with the episode Jurassic Park having a second bonus commentary track, deleted scenes, storyboards, and animatics. Along with this, we also have international clips once again, this time being a 1 minute 26 second clip from the episode Love and Rocket, available in English, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. Then there's various 3D models being showcased once again, a guide on how to draw Bender and Professor Farnsworth, a gallery of new character artwork, pencil test segments for Bender, Leela, Kif, Zap Brannigan, Professor Farnsworth, Zoidberg, Fry, Amy, and then Miscellaneous, which I'll just play the first 3 seconds of Miscellaneous. Then there's trailers for the previous 3 box sets and the game. That's not all though, because again, there's hidden Easter eggs. Firstly, on disc 3, going to where no fan has gone before, then going down to home and pressing right, will change the picture to the Planet Express ship, which when selected, plays a feature with writer David Goodman and John DiMaggio, Bender's voice actor. An alien language message can be found on disc 4 by going on the main menu, going down to the Devil's Hands or Idle Playthings, and clicking left, which highlights this sandwich, which will reveal the message when pressed. It's long, so I'll just leave it on screen if you want to read it. Disc 4 also has more unused title captions, found by going to Spanish Fry, then going to the scene selection and pressing left, which brings up this image on the TV, that when pressed plays them. Also on disc 4 is a table read for the episode The Devil's Hands Are Idle Playthings, found by going to the episode then pressing up, which reveals the Devil's Hands, that when pressed plays the table read. Following this set, a collection of all 4 of them would be released titled Futurama The Complete Collection, which was a big box containing all 4 of the original season box sets in their original form, not repackaged or anything, in Region 2. However, the Region 4 version is actually changed and is significantly thinner. Then, the next release of the show was actually a DVD set containing 4 episodes, one from each season at the time, titled Futurama Monster Robot Maniac Fun Collection, released on the 23rd of August 2005. It contains the episodes Hell is Other Robots, Anthology of Interest 1, Roswell That Ends Well, and The Sting. This release is interesting as it's the only compilation release of the series. The rest were either movies or sets in order. It also has bonus features, being an animatic for Hell is Other Robots, which also has a new commentary track for it. The episodes also each feature a special introduction. Along with this, the whole disc itself has its own introduction, featuring Matt Groening, David X. Cohen, Claudia Katz, Rich Moore, Bender, and Professor Farnsworth. Like the actual characters, they're being voice acted by the voice actors, but they're acting as the characters in the introduction, which can be found by going to the main menu and pressing down to select this label on the back of the car that actually says disc intro. And then there's actually hidden Easter eggs here as well, as if you go to the play with intro selection, then press down, it reveals Al Gore, who when pressed shows an image of Al Gore recording his lines for the episode Anthology of Interest 1. Anyway, that concludes all the releases from the original Fox Run era, which were very successful and ended up actually contributing to the eventual revive of the series. In 2006, production began on Bender's Big Score, the first of the 4 straight-to-DVD movies, which would end up being released on November 27th, 2007 on DVD and PSP UMD. PSP UMD is a format used on Sony's handheld console, the PlayStation Portable, and would allow you to watch various pieces of content on the go. These discs were a lot smaller in size and also storage than DVDs, and because of that, you only get the movie here with no special features. This was actually the only Futurama UMD ever released. Anyway, with the DVD release, you'd get, well, the film, along with a bunch of bonus features, being a commentary track, a reading of the comic book Futurama Returns done by the cast from Comic-Con, an entire feature-length episode of the in-universe show Everybody Loves Hypnotoad, specifically episode 3H312, which is a minute-long intro followed by pretty much mostly just this for 22 minutes, with occasionally something else, like when it cuts to this establishing shot of a diner then immediately just cuts back. Which I thought was pretty funny. Then there's deleted scenes, a terrifying message from Al Gore, which is a 90-second short made to promote the 2006 documentary An Inconvenient Truth, by My Shiny Metal X, which is a math lecture about Futurama's 3D models, a showcase of various 3D models, a 5-minute promo for the film that was originally first shown at Comic-Con, a sneak peek animatic for The Beast with a Billion Backs, which would be the next film, the first draft of the film script, and a bunch of designs from the film. But that's not all, because if you press press right on the second special features menu, you can select this drawing of Bender, and pressing it brings up Ken Keeler and David X. Cohen present the Futurama Time Logic Scribble, and that was the release for Bender's big score. The following movie, The Beast with a Billion Backs, would be released the following year on June 24th, 2008. This release contains the movie, shocking I know, and once again, bonus features. So this time we've got a commentary once again, Futurama The Lost Adventure, which is a compilation of all the cutscenes from the Futurama video game edited together to form an episode. This also has its own commentary track, a storyboard animatic for the first part of the film, deleted scenes, Meet Evo, which is a featurette with David Cross, who I did not know voiced Evo until writing this, bloopers, a showcase of various 3D models from the film, a featurette titled A Brief History of Deathball, and a sneak peek of Bender's Game, which is the next film. But once again, there are hidden features, or a hidden feature. If you go to the second page of special features and press left, it highlights this text that says Groposcope, which when selected shows a picture of the old farmer's Wikipedia. Thus concludes the release of The Beast with a Billion Backs. The next movie to be released was Bender's Game, which came out on November 3rd, 2008 on DVD and Blu Ray, being the first Blu Ray release for the series. As for the special features on this release, we've got a commentary, a storyboard animatic for the first part of the film, Futurama Genetics Lab, which allows you to pick two characters and merge them together to see what it looked like, which is cool, a featurette entitled Dungeons and Dragons and Futurama, How to Draw Futurama in 83 Easy Steps, which is a guide on how to draw various characters from the series, a showcase of 3D models, deleted scenes, bloopers, Bender's anti-piracy warning, which is a parody of that you wouldn't steal a car anti-piracy thing that I'm sure we've all seen before. In fact, it literally plays before this every DVD. This is pretty funny, and a sneak peek of Into the Wild Green Yonder, which is the next film. This isn't all though, as once again, there's Easter eggs. If you go onto the third page of special features and press right, you can select either this castle or this Zoidberg Skull and Bones. Selecting the castle will play a video of David X. Cohen's dodecahedron collection, and selecting the Zoidberg Skull plays a 90-second video of Billy West trying to say the line, really wedgie it in on in there, really wedgie it in on in there. I can see why I mess this up actually, what the hell. Really wedgie it on in there. Really wedgie it on in there. Okay, I got it. Now onto the last of the four movies, Into the Wild Green Yonder, which was first released onto DVD and Blu-ray on February 23rd, 2009. As for the special features on this one, we got an audio commentary, a storyboard animatic for the first part, a 5-minute behind the scenes video titled Docudramarama, Louder Louder, the acting technique of Penn Jillette, which is behind the scenes recording footage, deleted scenes, a featurette titled Matt Groening and David X. Cohen in Space, which is about them doing the zero-G weightless experience where basically a plane is flown up and then it nosedives to create a zero-gravity-like experience. Mr. Beast did it in a video, that's how I know what that is. Another tutorial on how to draw various characters, a showcase of 3D models, Bender's movie theatre etiquette, and Zap's love guide. As for the Easter eggs, which return here, if you go on the features page and go to Penn Jillette Mania, then select right, then up, it'll highlight Teller's Head, which when selected plays a video showing what Zap Brannigan was saying during the scene in which Fry was searching for the Dark One. If you're curious, it's Billy West telling a story of a power outage that happened at the studio just before they recorded the lines, and how it happened, since in the film you wouldn't actually be able to make out what he was saying, but they needed some kind of audio for the background. Then if you go down to Zap's Love Guide on the menu, which is seemingly the final feature, and go down again, it highlights this, which when clicked plays an animation of Bender done on toilet paper. And that concludes the movies. I mentioned this before, but these physical releases are the best ways to watch these movies, because Disney Plus, for whatever reason, only has the episode versions, which with most of these movies being around 89 minutes long, and the episodes having to fit in 22 minutes each, with an intro and also credits, it means a lot of content has to be cut for them to be split up into parts. Anyway, on the 19th of October 2009, the 4 movie releases would be repackaged into a box set titled Futurama The Collected Epics, which is all 4 of them in one. The next release would be Futurama The Complete Collection, a new one, this one being released on October 13th, 2009, and being a box set containing the entire original run along with the 4 new movies. There's actually 2 versions of this one. The first one is a limited edition one that was only available at San Diego Comic-Con 2009 to people who pre-ordered it prior to the event. This version was limited to only 500 copies and contained a hard-numbered letter from Matt Groening and David X. Cohen. The second version wasn't exclusive and was just available to everyone. The set itself 5 is a large plastic bender head that has a door on the back where the discs can be stored. The discs themselves actually have different designs on them than the previous releases. They now each have a different character on them. The contents, however, are still the same. This set's cool because, well, it's a giant plastic bender head, but it is also pretty rare and therefore pretty expensive to buy. Anyway, back in June of 2009, the announcement was made that the series itself would be returning with new episodes on Comedy Central, and we would end up getting 2 new seasons of 26 episodes each. So with that, obviously it meant new home media releases for the new episodes, the first of which being Volume 5, released onto DVD and Blu Ray on December 21st, 2010. This set contains the first 13 episodes of Season 6 spread over 2 discs, in new, updated packaging. The releases are now just in regular DVD cases and have a character on the cover, this volume having Bender. This is admittedly better for shelf space, with each season now taking up about half the space of the Fox seasons. However, I prefer the older designs because they're more interesting. Also, with this new packaging, the first 4 seasons would actually be re-released to match the same style on July 17th, 2012, which again is better for shelf space, with even these seasons being able to fit in one normal sized box, meaning they're now like a quarter of their original size, but I still prefer the older versions. So Volume 1 now has Fry as the cover, Volume 2 has Morbo, Volume 3 has Professor Farnsworth, and Volume 4 has Amy. Anyway, back to Volume 5, and onto the special features. There's commentaries, Behind the Fungus, Making a Hit Song, which is about the making of the song Shut Up and Love Me, previously on Futurama, which are the characters saying previously on Futurama, which would play before the individual movie part episodes, The Adventures of Delivery Boy Man, an original video comic scribbled and performed by Philip J. Fry, which also has its own commentary, Bend It Like Bender, a music video, and The Prisoner of Bender table read. But then there's also 2 Easter eggs, both on disc 2. So first, going to the episodes page, then going to
The Reconcilable Differences,
and going right, highlights the antenna on the building, which when clicked shows some concept art. Going to the page for the Futurama Holiday Spectacular, then going right, highlights the window, which when clicked plays a clip of John DiMaggio messing up a line. Also, Volume 5 actually had a limited edition version released, only in the UK, which would come with both the Blu-ray and DVD discs, a Bender shirt, and also a script for the episode The Late Philip J. Fry. Following the release of Volume 5, a new version of the Benderhead box set was released, with this one now containing the new volume in a cardboard pouch, instead of the head itself, because you know the head itself was designed to fit the discs it already fit. The set also came with a collector pouch for Volume 6. Anyway, the second half of Season 6 would be released on the Volume 6 DVD and Blu-ray on December 20th, 2011, with this one having Leela on the cover. As for the special features this time, we got commentaries and delete scenes once again, Professor Farnsworth's Science of a Scene, which is a behind the scenes of the episode Overclockwise, presented by Professor Farnsworth, Reincarnation Explained with director Peter Avanzino, which is about the episode Reincarnation, and Futurama FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions. Okay, and this is actually the final DVD to have hidden Easter eggs on it, as the next 2 just don't, and it has 2, one on disc 1, which can be found by going to the episode list and going down to the main menu option, then going right, which selects the bucket, and it's this envelope that says the Emmy goes to Futurama, and the second one is on disc 2. If you go to the episode Fry Am the Eggman, go down to episodes, then go right, this egg is highlighted, which when clicked shows some Mr. Peppy concept art, and that was Volume 6. The first 13 episodes of Season 7 would later be released onto DVD and Blu-ray as Volume 7 on December 11th, 2012, with Zoidberg being on the cover this time. As for bonus features, there's commentaries on every episode, and even an extra bonus commentary for the episode of Farewell to Arms, done by the animators of Rough Draft Studios, who worked on the series. Then there's an alternate ending to the episode Zap Dingbat, deleted scenes, Christopher Ting's big score, a jam session with Futurama's innovative composer, Mobius Trip, infinite Futurama screen loops, which are, well, screen loops for you to leave on your screen, and they will just loop infinitely, and Futurama karaoke, sing along with your favourite characters, which is various songs from the series with lyrics, available with or without vocals. And that was Volume 7. So finally, we're on to Volume 8, being the final 13 episodes of the series at the time. Volume 8 was released onto DVD and Blu-ray on December 10th, 2013, with the special features, commentaries again, with a bonus animated commentary for the episode Game of Tones, deleted scenes, Futurama University, which is a 3-part exploration of the animation process, and Inside Futurama, the Writer's Room of Tomorrow. With that, we are done with the volumes releases, leaving only one DVD left, that being Futurama The Complete Series, which was never released on Blu-ray, only DVD, and came out December 10th, 2013. It's a 27 disc box set that contains every single disc from the previous volumes and movie releases repackaged into one box. This is the final release for the series as of right now, and it's likely going to be the final release ever, as I doubt that the new Hulu seasons will receive their own releases, as other Fox shows like Family Guy and The Simpsons have also stopped their home media releases too. Anyway, that concludes the video. If you enjoyed, please hype this video so I can find out what the hype button does, and also like and subscribe, because if you ask people to do that, they're more likely to, and I keep forgetting to. Also, if you want to see my complete Futurama DVD collection, it'll be over on my second channel, and I'll put the video on screen now. Also, check out Our Stupid School, it's a show I made and I'm in. Anyway, bye.